What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video. And today, as you can tell from the title and the draft class in front of you, something is very, very different. And that is we're doing a career re-simulation instead of just a career simulation with some of these rookies. And I plan on doing more of these. Sometimes it'll be guys that necessarily didn't work out, like David Carr, presumed draft bust, taken number 1 overall in 2002, and certainly did not work out. It was the expansion Texans. They tried to get somebody to be their face of their franchise, and they took a shot at a quarterback. He didn't have anything around him, and for a project-type player like David Carr coming out, really didn't end up being the right choice for their franchise at the time. But as you can see, here is David Carr. We've recreated him. Was taken, again, number 1 overall out of Fresno State in 2002. And, of course, I was very young in 2002. Wasn't exactly scouting the draft the way I have been lately. So I had to go up and pull up this weird forum from the early internet. Well, I guess not that early internet. We're going to take a look at it on TexansTalk.com. Of course, here is David Carr. We're going to show him and his creation in-game. But, yeah, he's a pretty good analyst. He's, decent to watch and listen to. But here is the supposed draft scouting report from 2002. Positives: excellent size, good all-around athlete, top competitor, legitimate tough guy. Like, these are... if you say competitor and tough guy instead of going to straight arm talent off the bat, you're in kind of tough shape. But I guess it was 2002, so... he's got a lot of grit. Could win you a football game or two. More than throws with anticipation, reads defense as well, blah, blah, blah. But we have really stands in against the rush, well respected by his teammates and coaches, mature and confident without being cocky. Has improved by leaps and bounds and become a franchise-type player on the college level in 2001. Even in Fresno State's 3 losses, he put up big numbers and got his team into the end zone. Excellent passer with a very strong and generally very accurate arm. Has good timing and anticipation of receiver, so we're actually getting to that now. Makes some incredible throws and can really thread the needle. Can throw every pass in the book and really zing the deep out. Sets up well and has a lightning quick release. Generally throws a nice tight spiral. Can throw the touch passes, reads coverages, and shows good judgment. And during the 2001 regular season had 42 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Played very well against teams from major conferences, and in the biggest and best games on his team's schedule, he made his teammates better and got the ball into the end zone. Strong practice week at the Senior Bowl. Now some negatives. Semi-sidearm, unusual 3-quarter throwing motion, has a very low release point, about shoulder level, and will get balls batted down, which could be a huge problem since so many teams use so many 3- and 5-step drops. Is basically a line drive passer and might be better off if he put more air under some of his throws. Is not quite as mobile as you would like, and is not a super athlete and improviser. Average scrambler and is no Donovan McNabb as a runner. Can be inconsistent throwing the ball, which kind of contradicts his the positives on there. So I don't know who wrote this up, but we have, where are we? Will force some and make some bad reads. Was brought along beautifully by the Fresno State staff and has not faced a lot of adversity, so you cannot be sure how well he will handle it. Well, let me tell you, he didn't handle it well. He really did not end up developing at all in Houston, but he did bounce back from the Ohio State disaster in 2000. I imagine Fresno State got murdered in 2000 by Ohio State, and then in Fresno State's 2 regular season losses in 2001, he was in a position to lead John Elway-type comebacks, but didn't do it. Summary is he has a chance to become a premier NFL quarterback, which didn't end up happening, if his release point does not lead to too many problems. And if he's brought along and utilized correctly, could be the type of player you can build a team around if he's developed correctly. Well, I don't think it was just his release point that didn't result in David Carr being a good player. And this Texans forum really backed that up. They were not a big fan of him. Here we go. I don't believe Dom Capers could develop a bowel movement. It's on the coaching staff. But there you go. This is worth a read, maybe. Some guys are like, oh man, David Carr was terrible. Others are, and I will call him Derek Carr for sure in this video. It's unavoidable. And others are like, yay, he didn't have anything. No offensive line, no weapons. Of course, the team would ultimately draft Andre Johnson, one of the 20 best receivers ever, probably. One of my favorite players. But yeah, David Carr is in the draft. Here we go. Can I go ahead and bring back Madden? Yeah, so he's in the 2020 draft class, or 2021 draft class, excuse me. And we're probably not going to be in a position to see him get taken by the Texans. They have Deshaun Watson. Probably going to end up being a different team that ends up taking David Carr. But it's a video game, man. We're throwing him back into the NFL world with a second chance in this make-believe fantasy land. Hit that subscribe button if you are new, as we shall see where David Carr ultimately ends up going. The Jets do not have the number 1 overall pick. It belongs to the Jaguars, and they take Trevor Lawrence. Jets at number 2. This could be David Carr. It is Justin Fields. Panthers at 3. That is David Carr. So David Carr is headed to North Carolina to quarterback the Carolina Panthers. Ooh, that's interesting. So, of course, we've changed over to the Carolina Panthers, and I think it's safe to say that David Carr has some more weapons than he did previously. I mean, let's look at this Houston Texans 2002 roster. It was an expansion team, and it was super bad. Let me see the depth chart, rather. Can't really find the official depth chart, but this will have to do. And let's take a look at this team. On offense, I mean, you guys might recognize one name there, and it's probably Jabbar Gaffney if you recognize any. Otherwise, this is a brutally bad team, featuring an offensive line of Chester Pitts. He actually played for kind of a long time, was a long-time starter, but also on a really bad Houston Texans team. Seems like he was actually okay. I'm not familiar with Chester Pitts. Domingo Graham played 4 years in the NFL, last of which being on this 2002 Texans team. Steve McKinney, the center, was actually in the league for somewhat of a long time and was, I guess, a main staple of this Houston Texans expansion team. Stayed on them for a few years. Fred Weary, drafted in 2002, stayed on the Texans till 2007. He was a 25-year-old rookie. And then Ryan Young, one of his last seasons in the league was with the Texans, was out of the league at age 27. So the offensive line's pretty bad. I feel like it's going to be even worse when we look at the weapons on the team. Jonathan Wells didn't make it out of his rookie contract with the Texans, was gone after that. Out of the league at the end of 2005. Jared Baxter didn't even make it through 4 years in the league. Was out after 2005. Only a fullback, though. Corey Bradford, receiver. Played for a little while in the league. Had some okay seasons. Nothing crazy. Jabbar Gaffney was a decent player. More career yards than Julian Edelman. I think that's still true. He was around for a little while. And then Jabari Holloway was in the league for 2 years. And that was the offense for the rookie season of David Carr. Pretty viciously bad. On this team, however, he does have Robbie Anderson, who's had a breakout year this year, Curtis Samuel, and of course DJ Moore. Really, really good receiving core. A lot for him to work with. He's going to start immediately over Teddy Bridgewater. Christian McCaffrey is the main staple of this offense, though. Really, really good player. Certainly one of the top running backs in the league, if not the very best running back. Chuba Hubbard was drafted. And then the offensive line leaves a bit to be desired. David Carr might be getting some weird flashbacks he can't place because it's not actually in this, timeline. But I'm going to turn everything onto auto. This is not a rebuild. This is just following the career of David Carr. If you got a second chance, I guess with the Carolina Panthers of all teams, another expansion team, one of the newer franchises. So David Carr's first game in the NFL was a win in this alternate timeline. Let's go ahead and look at his attributes before we simulate too much. He was a 75 overall in the draft, but has 91 throw power, 81 deep, 82 medium, 87 short, 85 throw under pressure, based off of his Fresno State scouting report, if you will. Gave him decent speed at 77. And of course, like, everyone from that era had massive pads. And we're doing another career resim in a little bit. That one's going to be Barry Sanders. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that out. It's free. Scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and that video will definitely pop up for you. But yeah, that is David Carr. Looking very interesting as a Carolina Panther. But we're going to simulate to the playoffs and see how good he is. Well, not the Super Bowl, playoffs. This team would go 11-5. The 2002 Texans went 4-12. Very, very different season for David Carr here. Won the division, 7th best offense, and he destroyed the rookie passing touchdown record. It's 27. He threw 37. Only 7 interceptions, nearly recreating his senior season at Fresno State. Had 3,800 yards, had way more in real life at Fresno State. And his actual rookie year was, again, very, very, very different. Threw for almost 2,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. So he had double the interceptions. He had almost quadruple the amount of touchdowns. Half as many interceptions is what I meant to say. And crushed the yards. So I would think it's safe to say that this season was way better than his actual rookie season for any reason you could think of. Christian McCaffrey was awesome. David Carr had a rushing touchdown as well. Loved throwing the ball to Curtis Samuel. And then Robbie Anderson in the end zone. Ian Thomas got involved. And DJ Moore really did nothing because Curtis Samuel was in the slot, and that's just kind of what happens. Joe Burrow wins MVP. Wow. David Carr got no votes for MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Tom Brady. David Carr at number 4. He had to have won Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he did it. He is up to an 81. Where is he for best quarterback? Number 2 as a rookie. David Carr absolutely crushed it. Now, I will say, of course, you saw hidden development. I did give him star because, you know, he's taken number 1 overall for a reason, and of course, he didn't work out in real life, but who knows what he could have been in a different situation, because so much of player development is based around coaching and situation. A good friend of mine, Swami, put out a tweet last night talking about some of the QBs taken top 5 in the past 15 years, and it's not a super prestigious list, saying that the best one was Matt Ryan, who has won an MVP. He's had a really good career. And then maybe Andrew Luck, if not for Andrew Luck kind of fighting injury and retiring early. But look at all the guys taken past the top 5 that have been amazing. You look at Russell Wilson, put into a great situation with great coaching in Seattle. Patrick Mahomes, of course, was still a first-round guy taken number 10 overall, but great situation with Andy Reid in Kansas City. So it isn't necessarily always the player. It's the team, it's the situation, it's the surroundings. So I did give him star dev. And here we are in the wild card round of the playoffs. David Carr has led an 11-5 Panthers team, and we'll see if we can beat the Vikings. And we do. 24-10. Now in the divisional, Brian Burns, my guy, up to a 91 overall. As we'll see if this Panthers team can take on the Cardinals. And they do, but unfortunately, they take them on unsuccessfully. 17-10 was your final. How did David Carr play? Doesn't seem like he was that amazing. 200 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Was sacked 4 times. Offensive line really letting him down. Curtis Samuel had 1 catch for 50 yards and a touchdown. So it was one big quick strike play. But all in all, a tremendous rookie season for David Carr. I would not be shocked if he goes up to superstar development. I really wouldn't at all. I honestly think he should. But he doesn't. He stays at only star. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. We need to get that deep accuracy up. So let's go ahead and do strong arm. Hopefully you get some deep accuracy in there. Throw power +1. Okay. Break sack +3. I want deep accuracy. And I'm a little bit shocked to see him stay at star. I really am. He was so close to best QB. He was so close to Offensive Player of the Year. Won Offensive Rookie of the Year. But we will simulate to the next season and see how season number 2 goes for David Carr. In real life, it was probably even worse than the previous season. Had only 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 13 picks. In fewer games, though, so he did average more per attempt. More adjusted yards per attempt. Maybe it wasn't. It was a slightly better season. He was only sacked 15 times in those 11 games. Still, or 11 starts. More than once per game, though. Not exactly ideal. But here is season number 2. Did they go out and get some help on the O-line? They actually did it. They brought in Maurkice Pouncey. Brought in Connor Williams. Greg Little's developing a little bit. DJ Moore is just straight up gone. Okay. Brought in Zach Ertz. Brought in Patrick Ricard. They just let DJ Moore go. That's brutal. On defense, Sheldon Rankins, Leighton Vander Esch, Von Miller, Carl Joseph, Mackenzie Alexander. Man, the Panthers went all out. Well, all right. They think they have their QB of the future. Why not go all out? Put some pieces around him and really just try to dominate. We're going to buy some XP packages here. O-line training boost might be very worthwhile. But we will see how season number 2 goes. 2022. How good will David Carr be in year 2? Will he see a sophomore slump, or will he continue to build off a great rookie season? We shall find out in about 10 weeks. Playoff time. Are we a playoff team? No. 6-10. David Carr was not better. 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 picks. It was a worse season for sure. Christian McCaffrey even took a step back. Receiving, Robbie Anderson. Sage Surratt played actually a lot. It was pretty good, to be fair. But not an amazing season for David Carr, all things considered, as Lamar Jackson of the 5-11 Ravens wins MVP. No votes even for David Carr. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Nick Mullins. Defense Player of the Year doesn't really matter. Best quarterback, Nick Mullins. No Panthers, no David Carr in there anywhere. Is it time for a playbook change? It just might be. As we simulate to 2023 season 3 for David Carr. Now, in real life, actually just closed out of that window. But in real life, David Carr was off the Texans at the end of 2006. So 02, 3, 4, 5, 6. Played out 5 years with the Texans. And then went to the Carolina Panthers for a year before settling down as the Giants' backup QB. Remember him there for 2 years. David Carr's middle name is Duke. All right. That's my fun fact for the video. Still star dev. Curtis Samuel is progressing pretty nicely. Maurkice Pouncey is just straight up gone. Zach Ertz is regressing. Robbie Anderson is regressing. And on defense, it doesn't really matter, but I don't notice any significant changes. I think it is time to make an offensive change. Let's see some better numbers. We're going New Orleans playbook. See how well he plays with this Saints scheme going on. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's just kind of a better Alvin Kamara. Hopefully people are not too mad about me saying that, but like, come on. Christian McCaffrey is a little bit better than Alvin Kamara, without question at the moment, as we will simulate to the end of year 3. Hope David Carr's numbers jump back up again. Kind of a not so great second year. It wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't building upon what he did as a rookie. We want him to improve, not get better, or excuse me, not get worse, not stay the same, get better, and improve. And it seems like we may have. First round bye, 12-4. Third best offense, and David Carr seemingly with his best year ever. 4,300 yards, 36 touchdowns to only 13 interceptions. As a rusher, had 92 yards and score. Receiving, love to throw the ball to Robbie Anderson. Sage Surratt's playing well. Curtis Samuel. As we have 4 receivers, including the tight end Zach Ertz, with over 800 yards. Great ball distribution. As James Robinson, the Browns QB now, has won MVP. Jameis Winston at 2 with the Colts. Why is David Carr not getting votes? NFC Offensive Player of the Year finishes at number 6. There's Christian McCaffrey just in behind him. Best quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. David Carr at 3. He's just not getting MVP votes, but but he's having MVP caliber seasons. Year 1, I think, should have gotten some MVP votes. These are MVP caliber years, in my opinion. Got the Bears in the divisional, as we will give a check into Derek Carr, see how good he is here in year 3. Up to an 89 overall, playing with morale. 93 throw power, 86 deep accuracy, 91 medium, 95 short, 89 awareness, 87 throw under pressure. He's developing really, really well. But will it be enough to beat the Bears in the divisional? They're a tough sim team because of their offense, and they score 38 points, 38-35, as that'll be the end of the season. Advancing to 2024, of course, David Carr is a first-round pick. He will have automatically 4 years, plus the 5th-year option that I'm sure the Panthers will want to pick up. So he is almost certainly going to be under contract still with the Panthers for the next 2 seasons, and then probably way more even after that, just because there's no way the Panthers are going to let their star young quarterback go. But last year remaining on its deal, again, 5th-year option going to be picked up in 2025, and then he'll probably sign a massive extension through like 2033. I could see something like that happening, but it seems like the team got worse. Overall is down, but David Carr has gone up to superstar development. Don't want to give him bulldozer. Let's give him pocket deadeye. So he's just gone up to superstar dev. 93 throw power, 85 deep, 90 medium, 94 short. David Carr is looking exceptional. Curtis Samuel progressing. Robbie Anderson down to normal development, as is Zach Ertz, as is Chuba Hubbard, brought in Zaven Collins. But the team is still looking pretty good. It's just going to be up to David Carr and Christian McCaffrey to really carry this team to ultimate success. Didn't make the playoffs in 2024. Went 4-12. What a weird bunch of simulations we've seen so far. 16th best offense, 21st defense in terms of yards. And David Carr had over 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, did throw 16 interceptions. Not a great year from him. I was about to say, no one had any rushing yards. David Carr, 91, no touchdowns. And then receiving, Curtis Samuel over 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns on 100-plus catches. Robbie Anderson did pretty well. Sage Surratt continues to put up very similar numbers every single season. And I doubt we see any MVP votes here for David Carr. Of course, not at all. NFC Offense Player of the Year, J.P. Ryans. No David Carr. Best quarterback, David Carr sneaks in at number 10 for the NFC. So, not really a great season in 2024. Again, his 5th-year option will be picked up, but not necessarily. He will be on the team no matter what, but it's either 5th-year option or he was signed to a massive extension, which almost is more likely in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and check that out. As we see here, David Carr signed a massive extension. 6 years, 5 years remaining on his contract, and he is signed at least through 2029. It was $188 million over 6 years. Oh my goodness. Bonus of over $90 million. Will it end up even mattering? It seems like they boosted the defense, which has seemed to be a problem so far. Use some Coach XP to get them better. But 82 overall is better than last year. David Carr is at a 90, but they're not really giving him much in the way of weapons. His accuracy is getting way better. Deep accuracy just needs to get boosted a bit because Robbie Anderson's kind of low. Who's this, though? Terrell Jenkins. Superstar dev deep threat. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the number 2 threat almost for sure. I don't know why he wouldn't be. No center, no tight end. Defensively, oh, Brian Burns, superstar X Factor. I know this is not the Brian Burns video. I'm just curious to see what he's done in simulation. I mean, he's been all right. Never had double-digit sacks, but that's the way of Madden Sim sometimes. And I want to make sure that superstar dev receiver is our slot guy, just so he gets the most targets. But we'll simulate to the end of 2025. Need to bounce back. We're domination terrible. Domination terrible. We alternate making the playoffs every season, and it's not even like we're just missing them in the years where we just miss or where we don't make it. We're missing by a lot, a ton. Well, it seems like the domination is back. This team finished 13-3, and David Carr 100% is going to get MVP votes this time around. 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns to only 14 interceptions, and that is kind of a lot of picks, but based on the amount of touchdowns, the amount of yardage, the amount of attempts, that really isn't too crazy. Christian McCaffrey was quite good. David Carr had 4 rushing touchdowns. 45 total touchdowns for David Carr. Receiving, I mean, there were 3 different receivers with 900 plus yards. 2 of them having 11 touchdowns. Harvey Lamb is a 74 overall normal dev player. He's a tight end. That's why. I mean, he just had an amazing year. Terrell Jenkins, a superstar dev receiver, is up to an 80. He's playing real well. And then Curtis Samuel had maybe the best season of anybody. He was so good. But show me some MVP votes as Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. David Carr at number 3. Certainly his best year, but 2 AFC players above him. And he's not in the AFC. He's in the NFC. Could Russell Wilson beat him for NFC Offensive Player of the Year? I've seen that happen before, but I think it's very possible. As David Carr wins Offensive Player of the Year. Unreal. Best quarterback, David Carr. That is screaming. Screaming for Superstar X Factor development. We'll check out the legacy leaderboard for quarterbacks here. He should be pretty far down the list, but he is above whatever this QB is for the Saints. He's above Ryan Tannehill, above Justin Herbert, above or just below Baker Mayfield by 6 points. Should be able to pass him very, very shortly when those numbers register at the end of 2025 here. But we are going to jump straight to the divisional against the New Orleans Saints. Can the Panthers win? Yes, 35-31. And now, in the NFC Conference Championship against the Minnesota Vikings, we got to beat them. We got to beat them. We got home field advantage. Not going to jump in here. But it is a Super Bowl team. It is a Super Bowl team. Does David Carr have Superstar X Factor? Moment of truth. Answer's yes. Superstar X Factor for David Carr. 94 throw power, 90 deep accuracy, 95 medium accuracy, 99 short accuracy. Good awareness. Let's give him an upgrade. Not to field general. Let's give him improviser. Working on his Patrick Mahomes type gameplay. Throw accuracy deep and under pressure goes up. As Jeremy Chin is in the 90s. But David Carr gets Superstar X Factor. Absolutely love to see it. Well deserved. As he is, quarterbacking and captaining a awesome Carolina Panthers team. He's got the C on his chest. He's earned it. Gave him Bazooka. QB of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year. And, of course, Superstar X Factor. Looking really, really good. And, of course, let's play a little bit with David Carr. Let's see what he's looking like out on the field. Can we beat the Chiefs? Remains to be seen. We'll maybe play the first drive and then simulate and then play like the last drive if we need to jump in or something like that. He actually kind of looks like David Carr as well, like out on the field. So that's cool. Well, actually, looking like David Carr, you'd probably expect to see him holding a clipboard on the sideline. First pass is incomplete. I thought we'd be able to get that to Curtis Samuel. Unfortunately, it was not the case. It is 3rd and 3. That's not who I meant to throw to at all. What? Oh my goodness. We had the flat literally wide open with Robbie Anderson. I tried to throw it to him. And he does actually have like a little sidearm sling. But I guess I pressed the wrong button. I mean, Robbie Anderson was so open. I was surprised as anybody when that snuck out to a different receiver. So that kind of sucks. Bad start. As the Chiefs are going to get right on the board, I presume. Yep, touchdown. Let's take over on offense, though, and actually throw to the right receiver this time. I can't even believe that just happened. I mean, starting out 0 for 3, throwing the ball is not good. It's 3rd and 12. Over the middle to Chris Jenkins. I think his name's Chris. Oh, it's definitely not. Chris Jenkins was a sick D tackle. It's Terrell Jenkins, that's right. But it is 1st and 10. Finally got our first completion, and we're going to go right back to him. Terrell Jenkins. Decent speed for number 16, as David Carr started to get it going a little bit. Haven't run the ball yet, but, I mean, we're not here for Christian McCaffrey. We're here for David Carr. Over the middle again, it's Terrell Jenkins, my favorite target. David Carr's favorite target. Inside post going to be open. Oh, slung it right in there. Curtis Samuel. Look at the speed in the secondary, but he breaks a tackle. Curtis Samuel down inside the 5. Slant, touchdown, Curtis Samuel. David Carr just 3/4 slings it in there. What a very odd arm slot. But we got the head, shoulders, knees, and toes for Curtis Samuel. And a big drive for David Carr, excuse me. I knew I would do it at least once in this video, probably more than that. But for David Carr and the Panthers, it's a close game, but the Chiefs really just can't be stopped on offense. It is a shootout, but they're scoring literally every single time they touch the ball, it seems like. It's 41-21. I think too little, too late. Shout out JoJo. It's been a while. We'll try to come back, but it's not going to be possible, I don't think. Here's 2nd and 5. So can we sling that in there? Yeah, we got Robbie Anderson. There we go. Terrell Jenkins is actually kind of amazing. Doesn't get any separation that time. Can we sling that in there? Dude, this release is actually... Oh, Curtis Samuel's still going. Oh, I wish I didn't accidentally juke. But David Carr's arm slot and release is so interesting. He literally just slings it in there. I mean, he's got a cannon at this point. And he's throwing some big strikes. That was almost a pick. I got to get rid of that ball way earlier or not at all. 2nd and 10. Using that above average athleticism to get sacked. We're used to seeing that with David Carr. All right, need a touchdown here on 3rd and 10. I don't love my options. We're going to run. I don't think we have triangle. David Carr with a huge truck. I think it was better to just take some type of yardage rather than just force the ball in there. Anderson in motion. Slant open. We got it. Touchdown, Terrell Jenkins. It might be too late for a comeback, but I guess you never know. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win it. Super Bowl loss here for David Carr. But, you know, the defense didn't hold up their end of the bargain. They allowed 42 points in a game where Patrick Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns, no picks, only a handful of incompletions for 300+ yards. Did he outduel David Carr? I mean, Carr had way more attempts and a pick, but another touchdown. Terrell Jenkins is kind of a beast. Clyde Edwards-Helaire dominated, though. 148 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. And it just wasn't meant to be here this season. 2026, we'll take a look at this Panthers team. Of course, David Carr. Oh, what? Terrell Jenkins goes down to star dev? Why? That's stupid. Anyway, David Carr, superstar X Factor. He is under contract for the next while. If we check out his contract and skills, 4 years remaining through 2029. Big time awards, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2025 Offensive Player of the Year, best quarterback. Of course, that's the most recent season. Looking to build off of that. Will it happen? I mean, it seems unlikely. All these seasons are so odd. But you never know. He's a beast now. As long as the defense can play well enough, I think you know the offense is going to put up really good numbers. It didn't make the playoffs. 8-8. It's our first time doing something like that. Usually we just win 4 games. But a great offense and a great defense in terms of yards and won 8 games. 6th in points scored. We had to have been terrible. 19th in points allowed. I mean, kind of surprising not to see this team in the playoffs. David Carr, almost 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 picks. Yards per attempt, 7.8, 65% completion percentage. Really good numbers from him. Had 80 rushing yards, so there you go. Receiving, Joey Oliver, pretty good year, 12 touchdowns for him. Curtis Samuel got a lot of yards. Josh Sanborn. They just need bigger and better weapons for David Carr. Doesn't get an MVP vote. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Kyler Murray, who is up to a 98 overall. Finishes at 7th for Offensive Player of the Year. Best QB in the NFC goes to Dak. He finishes at number 5. 2027, did they get better weapons? I mean, I'm a big fan of this Terrell Jenkins fella. The fact that he had superstar dev stripped from him, I'll never forgive Madden. But David Carr's up to a 95 overall. Just got to get that deep accuracy into the 90s, and wow, he will be unreal, but still really, really good. Offensive line improved a lot with the addition of this center, Dom Proctor. He can't pass block, so did it really improve? We'll have to see. Zaven Collins up to superstar dev. Is Jeremy Chin regressing for real? Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Brian Burns looks unbelievable. I should actually put a real, good receiver in that slot position. And then we'll simulate to the end of 2027. Just snuck into the playoffs at 8-8 in 2027. Terrell Jenkins up to an 85 overall. Can we actually get him to have superstar dev again? 4th best offense, David Carr with a hell of a year. Almost 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions rushing. He got a rushing touchdown in there as well, and over 100 yards rushing. Christian McCaffrey was quite good in the receiving. Nick Boyle is on the team now, had over 1,000 yards, 11 TDs. Terrell Jenkins back over 1,000. Curtis Samuel near the same mark, 6 TDs for him. Yearly awards, Patrick Mahomes wins another MVP. David Carr at number 5. He just can't quite seem to do it. Russell Wilson with the 49ers. He's left Seattle to go to the longtime rival 49ers. David Carr at 2nd. Best QB. Jordan Love. David Carr at 3. That's a little weird. Well, here is this Jordan Love-led Bucs team. In the wild card, we got to get through them, and we don't. 17-0, completely shut out. Oh my goodness, David. You're not collapsing on the biggest stage, are you? Must have, because we had 149 passing yards. No running game at all. No touchdowns, 2 picks, under 150 yards. Was sacked 5 times. It's Houston all over again. Oh no. All right, we'll simulate to 2028. The defense is up to an 87 overall. Okay, it seems like they've actually invested in the defense, which is great, because the offense is going to perform. It seems like even without good players. David Carr is up to a 96 overall as Christian McCaffrey starts to regress. He is 30, though. So his window for progression is not that much longer. Deep accuracy is into the 90s, so that's nice. Field general is 96 right now. He's got the bazooki. Maybe gunslingers why his release looks so odd. Could have been. Christian McCaffrey is 32 and would have started to regress. Yeah, he sure did, even though he just won running back of the year. And then on defense, Zaven Collins up to superstar X Factor. Brought in Jalen Ramsey. Brian Burns still hanging out at a 99 overall. 99 finesse moves. What a stud. Still has never gotten double-digit sacks. That's why Sim is so frustrating. I don't think there's a player in the world with 99 finesse moves. You know, because obviously that's a video game stat. It's not like that's how it works in real life. But I don't think there'd be a player with 99 finesse moves that would record 6 sacks in a season. It just wouldn't happen. Terrell Jenkins, I throw you back in the slot because you are our best hope of doing well and progressing. We'll simulate to the playoffs in 2028. Second to last year for David Carr while still under contract for the Panthers. Obviously could sign an extension, but we don't know that to be a fact. First round bye for this team, 11-5, won the NFC South. David Carr really took his passing touchdowns down, and I assume that's because Christian McCaffrey vultured them. Defense was great. David Carr, 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns to 8 picks. It's still a decent year. Just the touchdowns is kind of low. Rushing, Christian McCaffrey, 12 touchdowns. Christian Holt, backup running back with 10. David Carr had 2 rushing touchdowns. So he did have over 30 total. Receiving, Terrell Jenkins, 1,200 plus yards, 5 TDs. Curtis Samuel had 8 touchdowns. We need some better weapons. I don't think he's going to get an MVP vote. He's just probably not going to. We've seen him almost get none the entire time with good years, and this was just not one of them. Sam Darnold wins Offensive Player of the Year on the 9-7 Packers as a 74 overall. David Carr at 8. Best quarterback, Jordan Love. Jared Goff is on the Seahawks now. And David Carr sneaks in at 9. So Sam Darnold won Offensive Player of the Year, but it was also the 8th best quarterback in the NFC. Doesn't make any sense. Have the 9-7 Falcons in the divisional here. Let's check out David Carr's attributes just for a moment. He is up to a 98 overall with morale. Terrell Jenkins up to an 88 overall. He still has some room to develop. With Superstar Dev, he's well into the 90s at this point. 95 deep accuracy, 99 medium. His accuracy is going up like crazy. Anything change on defense? No real big overall boost, but it's the Falcons in the divisional. Could be a tough team. I think we got this one, though. I'm not really too worried about it. 42-38, super close game. McCaffrey had a great week. 4 rushing touchdowns. And Joe Burrow playing pretty well in the AFC. But we got the Dallas Cowboys. It is a home game, but this is another team that's super strong in simulation. So this might be a tough win. But it doesn't matter. We get the job done, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. Let's see some of the stats for last week. That could have been a crazy game, and it wasn't. That's a... Huh? What years? I'm so confused. Oh, this is a fun glitch. They're showing games from a year ago? Well, I'm so confused. Can we look at it this way? All right, they showed it this way. I don't know what was going on with league schedule, but that was weird. Only won by 2. 28-26 against Dallas. Only oh, that's rush yards, 176. That's a lot. Only 235 pass yards. 2 picks for David Carr. Also threw 2 touchdowns. To who? Who caught him? Terrell Jenkins and Max Williams caught one as well. We have the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. Did we see any development trait increases for like Terrell Jenkins, for example? No. I get frustrated. Aldridge got superstar, but again, this is not a rebuild. Do we have a superstar X Factor corner not named Jalen Ramsey? Hold on a second. No, he's normal. I don't know why I thought that was red for a second. But yeah, we'll jump into this one. Chance to win a Super Bowl here for David Carr. 86 overall against 86 overall. This should be a good one. We're jumping into the red zone after a Bengal turnover, which is different from my Bengal turnovers. We're going Christian McCaffrey, though. That's a Bengal turnover. Jesse Bates just made an unreal play. How did he jump that? How did he jump that? I mean, I guess he's like somewhat in position. I've never seen that, though. That's a crazy play. So the Bengals strike first with the TD. I can't believe I threw an interception on that previous play. That was super annoying. And there we look at the scouting report about the 3/4 arm slot release. Batted down at the line. It's 3rd and 3. Play action. They don't bite, but there's not really a ton open. I don't really know where we go with the football there. David Carr, excuse me, starting out 0 for 4 with a pick. Of course, the interception was my fault. What are you going to do? They punt. We get the football back. I'm going to do another drive before going into simulation. Dude, it's been kind of tough. Guys just aren't getting open. The weapons really aren't there so much. We need to manufacture points somehow. It's wide open. Carr down the field for Trent. And Jaron Trent scores a touchdown. That's exactly what we needed. 64 yards over the top of the defense. And we're going to jump forward. Jump back in if we have to. It's 7-7. Need David Carr to get on it. Actually start scoring some points. 17-7 Panthers. Make it 24-7 Panthers. That's how often he's on his game. 24-7. Bengals trying to fight back in this one. Looks like it might be too little too late. 4th and 9, take the field goal and definitely secure the win. Or I'm recording a video, so try and make a play. I think you already know. Quick throw. Tight end. Touchdown. They left him uncovered off the line, and you can't leave him uncovered because we're going to score a TD. 38-15, Carolina, and that will be a Panthers Super Bowl done and done. David Carr wins the Super Bowl. Now, he actually did this in real life as a backup with the Giants, but has officially done it here as a starter in Carolina. Zaven Collins was your player of the game. 2 interceptions. Watch out for that outside linebacker out of Tulsa in this year's draft. Pretty good player. Could definitely see him sneak into the first round. He has a lot of upside, a lot of size, a lot of athleticism. Can be used in a multitude of different ways, either coming off the edge or dropping back in coverage. But that's not a Zaven Collins video. This is a David Carr video, as he will hoist the Lombardi Trophy as a member of the Carolina Panthers. Give it to him. Hand it to David. Showing up for the Carolina Panthers. David Carr has won a Super Bowl. Unbelievable. But as we go into 2029, it's important to note that also Brian Burns is on the final year of his deal. But more importantly, for this video, David Carr is on the final year of his deal. He's a 97 overall, 94 throw power, 94 deep accuracy, 98 medium, 99 short. A really good player, I think it's safe to say. He won Offensive Player of the Week, but unfortunately did not win Super Bowl MVP. But this is the final year of his contract in Carolina. Could very well be on the way out, but I think it'd be very wise for the Panthers to extend him. But of course, I don't control that. They have star dev across the right side of the line. And then defensively, some pretty good players in there. But we'll see what happens in potentially the final season for David Carr with the Panthers. Although I seriously doubt it. I think he's probably going to be here for another 5 years easy, maybe more. Did not make the playoffs. 6-10. 12th best offense. Seems like the defense held us back. But no, David Carr threw 21 interceptions. 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns. Not a great year from him. Did have a rushing touchdown, though. Terrell Jenkins, pretty good year. 1,100 yards, 7 TDs. He's now 28, though. Curtis Samuel is okay. Not ideal from David. Zach Wilson with the Raiders wins MVP. I don't think we're going to see any votes here. Yeah, David Carr is nowhere to be found. When you throw 21 interceptions, kind of hard. But he's a 98 overall. He's got 6,000 plus legacy. For those wondering, is just below Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray at this point. This Browns QB is going off. But it is above Dak Prescott with the Vikings, Jameis Winston, Josh Allen. So has he signed an extension yet? He has. Going to be signed in for a lot of money through the 2032 season. $72 million guaranteed. Total contract is worth $145 million over this span for the 32-year-old quarterback. 2030. Did they bring in some weapons? I mean, no. David Carr is up to a 98 overall. 96 deep accuracy to go with 99 medium and short accuracy. Overall, you know, he's pretty good. I think that's safe to say. Quick peep to the defense. Zaven Collins got downgraded. Brian Burns is starting to regress. But I don't think David Carr is regressing at all. Probably because he's a quarterback and not a defensive end. Even though they are both the exact same age, I believe. But, yeah, Brian Burns regressed. That's BS, dude. I'm not going to get excited about it. We're going to simulate to the end of 2030. David Carr, Super Bowl champ. He just needs to get MVP. He's already been Offensive Player of the Year. He's already made the Pro Bowl on a number of occasions. He needs that MVP. We actually are in the playoffs. 8-8. As Christian McCaffrey seems like he's about to retire. Don't leave me, Christian McCaffrey. If I don't open it, he can't retire. Finished third in the division at 8-8. David Carr is just kind of getting worse. 3,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks, rushing. McCaffrey, really good year receiving. Terrell Jenkins, again, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Antoine Johnson getting some good looks. Manny Weber in there is progressing pretty nicely. And I really doubt we're going to see any votes for anything in here. Yep, not a shot for MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, maybe. No. What about best QB? Luke Wilcox, David Carr, number 9. Are we going to be able to make the Super Bowl this year? I find it highly unlikely. And, of course, it was even more unlikely. It was impossible as we lose in the wild card. So I've changed to Chicago playbook as Christian McCaffrey hung up the cleats. He's done. I've changed to Chicago playbook in hopes of just being really, really good. Losing Christian McCaffrey will actually be massive because I think running backs really, really help out offensive sim stats for the whole offense, even the quarterback. So David Carr might actually be terrible, or he'll rise to the occasion and be amazing. Hopefully, it's the latter. 9-7 did make the playoffs, finishing second in the NFC South. And it looks like David Carr rose to the occasion. First in the league in passing yards, first in the league in touchdowns. Did throw 14 interceptions, though, but 4,600 yards, 37 TDs. Didn't really have much of a rushing game. But as a receiver, Manny Weber was insane. Might have won Receiver of the Year. We'll see at the end of the year. Terrell Jenkins still putting up over 1,000 yards every single season. I mean, he's been the picture of consistency. Look at these numbers. Since 2027, 5 straight years of 1,000 yards. Pretty good. And usually 7 touchdowns in those seasons. Yearly awards. Justin Herbert wins MVP. David Carr, number 5. He's just not winning the awards, man. First in touchdowns and yards, finishes 5th for MVP. I know, I get the picks. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Lance Harris. David Carr at 4. Best QB, David Carr. It's not like he can get upgraded to beyond Superstar X Factor, so I guess it really doesn't matter at this point. But we will simulate past the Bucks. They're 11-5, won't be easy. And it wasn't easy. 28-7, got smashed. David Carr is starting to regress. A little bit in there, unfortunately. Power down by 1. Accuracy short down by 2. Medium down by 1. Awareness is down. Throw under pressure's down slightly. But overall, he's still pretty amazing. Like, still really, really good. But he's going into the final year of his deal. Should be really interesting to see how his final season goes and whether the Panthers will be able to retain him, re-sign him long-term, or offer him a short contract, let him go entirely. Will he stay a Panther forever? Of course, was a bit of a journeyman in his real career, but that might be different here in fantasy land. Who knows? Hey, Terrell Jenkins up to superstar. Finally. Manny Weber up to superstar. Oh, we're starting to get some real talent around him. Spencer Chamberlain, 76 overall, rookie running back. Nice trucking. Star better development. Defensively, Brian Burns is down to a 90. We need to get one of our superstar dev players in the slot. Probably Manny Weber. Now, and I've got to go to the bathroom super, super bad, so I'm going to let this simulate. Hopefully, this season isn't as shit as what I'm about to do is. Jeez, all right, well. Went 10-6, didn't win the division. But David Carr is back to being great. 7th best offense. He had 4,500 yards or thereabouts. 35 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. We got to limit interceptions, please. Receiving, Manny Weber, very good. Terrell Jenkins does what he does. Over 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Really good stuff from the offense. Yearly awards. Jordan Love with the Texans won MVP. He's down to a 74 overall. David Carr at number 2. How many times this video have I called him Derek? I feel like I just did, like a minute ago. Hopefully not. Man, this is the year that he almost wins MVP. That's heartbreaking. He should win Offensive Player of the Year, as he does. Best quarterback, Deshaun Watson. David Carr at 3. Award voting is so strange sometimes. As do we have any upgrade points? Jim Drayton, who cares? Can we get past the Falcons in the wild card? The answer is yes. 31-28. Super, super close game. Manny Weber's up to an 87. As we will try to get past the Eagles in the divisional. And that happens. 35-17. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and check out the offense for the NFC Championship game against Detroit. Weber and Jenkins up near 90s. It's actually Detroit. We say Detroit here. I don't care. David Carr, 99 overall. His accuracy is pretty good. Throw on the run, play action under pressure. All that's pretty good. Will it be good enough for another Super Bowl appearance? Would be the third of his career. And he will. And the 6-10 Buffalo Bills have gotten hot. They snuck into the playoffs at 6-10. The NFC least turns to the AFC least. How does a 6-10 team make the playoffs? That is quite literally insane. They won the division at 6-10. Wow. Wow. And they actually lost the final 2 games of the year. Came into the playoffs with no momentum and just started winning. And they've made it to the Super Bowl, where they're going to take on this Carolina Panthers team led by Offensive Player of the Year, David Carr. Now, if we look at his accolades here, first of all, he is in the final, or he signed an extension through 2033. Okay, interesting. So 2 years left on his deal, but he's made the Pro Bowl 6 times. He's won Offensive Player of the Week 3 times this year. 2032 Offensive Player of the Year. First time in the 2030s he's actually won an award like that. So he's coming in with all the momentum. But the Bills at the same time have gotten unbelievably hot, and they're in the Super Bowl somehow. I don't even believe this. Pretty close game so far. 10-6 Carolina. Just need that offense to step up. 17-6 Panthers now. Maybe even more points. 24-6 Carolina. Buffalo fighting back. And they really are. It's a 5-point game here at the end of the third quarter. Let's jump in, try to capitalize with points. We have 2 superstar development receivers out on the left side of the field. Maybe we should target one of them. That's a terrible route. We're going to get sacked. Dude, I was watching. I think that was Terrell Jenkins maybe run the worst route I've ever seen. It was an out, and he ran it like an angle. Like an angle, like a route out of the backfield. That thing was the most curved thing I've ever seen. It looked like a vertical towards the sideline. It was terrible. We have options here? We do. Carr slinging it to Weber, and it's going to be a touchdown. Re-extending that lead. 63 yards to the house for Weber, and look at that Derek Carr slingshot throw. That is so weird to look at, but it's going to be 31-19 Carolina here in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be all she wrote. The Bills aren't going to be able to come back. It's 34-19. It's a pretty good drive from them, but it's shut down. It's shut completely down. Oh, they have Tua? Did I read that correctly? Here's a 2-minute warning. We might try to score again. Gunslinger's fun. I can just do that. On the run, Deadeye. On the run, Deadeye is fun as well. Roughing the passer saves what otherwise was not a great play. And that's another ball slung in there. Touchdown. This game's over. Carolina's going to win another Super Bowl under David Carr. Unreal. There it is. Super Bowl number 2 for David Carr and the Panthers. The 6-10 Buffalo Bills, led by Tua Tagovailoa, just didn't end up being quite good enough. Shocker. David Carr threw for 409 yards, 4 touchdowns, to only 1 interception, and finally gets his Super Bowl MVP. 3rd Super Bowl appearance, 2nd win. David Carr is throwing himself in the conversation for one of the best quarterbacks ever, but is still not won that elusive MVP. Still has a lot of career left to do it, but hasn't done it yet. 2033 now. David Carr, final year of his deal. He's down to a 93 overall at 35 years old, but still very, very good. Throw power's taken a bit of a hit, but his accuracy still really, really good across the board. Should be interesting to see how well he plays. Terrell Jenkins is regressing a little bit, but the offense is an 83 overall. Is it because of that running back? Is he progressing? He's up to an 81. Receivers still looking nice. Offensive line looking all right. Got to put Manny Weber back in the slot, and once Manny Weber goes in the slot, we're good to go. Simulating 2033. I'll see you guys for the playoffs. We got to make them. So he would sneak into the playoffs at 8-8, but won the division. 3rd best offense. This could be David Carr's MVP. 4,600 passing yards, 39 touchdowns to 11 picks. Rushing. Added a rushing touchdown in there as well. Manny Weber, 18 touchdowns in the slot. He's up to a 93 overall. Just needs that short route running to come along, but almost 1,700 yards on 100 catches. Terrell Jenkins, under 1,000 yards for the first time in a minute. Yearly awards, he doesn't get it again. It goes to Luke Armstrong. David Carr at number 4. NFC Offense Player of the Year, Braden Smith. David Carr at 2. Best QB, David Carr. He just can't get that elusive MVP. Just can't quite do it. See if we can beat the Eagles in the wild card. And we can't. Lose by 3. And we'll see if the Panthers choose to re-sign David Carr, if they're even able to. I assume they'll be able to. But the question is, will they? Yep, he signs another 1-year contract through 2034. He is down to an 88 overall. Morale boosts him up a little bit. The accuracy is still really good. Throw power, not so much. That one's going down a lot. But he's still very, very good. I wonder if he'll ever win an MVP. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Hey, Manny Weber went up to Superstar X Factor. It's pretty nice. But again, David Carr is regressing like quite a lot. Who is this? 34-year-old Victor Stewart. All right, can't really get too excited about that. 11-5 this season. Won the division. 5th best offense. David Carr, arguably with the best year of his career. I mean, these are crazy numbers. 4,800 yards almost, 38 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, rushing, no touchdowns, but 130 extra yards on top of that, which would take him over 4,900, right? Yeah, just barely 4,900 total yards. And the receiving, Manny Weber dominates. Terrell Jenkins back over 1,000 yards. Yearly award, show me MVP. No, David Carr at 2. Oh, they're killing me with this Ricky Chambers bastard, man. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is David Carr once again. Best quarterback, David Carr once again. We've seen that a number of times. See if we can beat the Bucs in the wild card. Yeah, I think this is a good team. We're cruising. I mean, good record, good defense is really what it comes down to. And we'll see if we can beat the Falcons in the divisional. Nope, 28-16. Got too excited. Weren't good enough. So David Carr is still back. Another 1-year deal. Pretty much. Signed through 2035. And he's way down. Way down in overall. He's down to an 83 at 37 years old. Terrell Johnson is finally gone. Manny Weber, he's going to regress. He already is regressing probably. David Carr's 37 though. Down to an 83 overall. See progression history and see. He made his 8th Pro Bowl. My goodness. Did he not get credit for Offensive Player of the Year or anything like that? Let's see. 2034 Offensive Player of the Year. Was that last year? 2034 Best Quarterback? Had to have been. 8-time Pro Bowler, though. Is pretty impressive. Yeah, it is 2035 now. We'll check out the legacy leaderboard for quarterbacks. I assume David Carr is going to be pretty high up that. He is still behind Big Ben, but he's won 17 yearly awards, 3 NFC championships, 2 Super Bowls, but all the guys above him have won a lot. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has 4 Super Bowls at this point. Oh, man. Although, he has 19 yearly awards to David Carr 17. So, David Carr's catching up. Made the playoffs again, this time at 9-7. 4th best offense. David Carr was still quite good. 4,400 yards, 34 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Rushing. Had a rushing touchdown in there. Receiving. Tyrese Allison going off. Didn't really put Manny Weber in the slot. When I say didn't really, I totally forgot to. Didn't. Where are we for yearly awards? James Robinson wins MVP. David Carr at 4. He's just never going to win it. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is David Carr again. Best quarterback is David Carr again. I mean, he's going to be so far up the legacy leaderboard here. Can we beat the Lions? Yeah, 28-24. Can we beat the Bears in the divisional? Yeah, 24-21. A lot of 24s going on. 1 game away from the Super Bowl. It's the Eagles who stand in our way. Can David Carr get back? Yes, and it's the Bills. This time, they are not 6-10. They are 10-6 and looking for revenge. We got to make sure not to give it to him. That would not be good. David Carr, 37 years old. He's up to an 84 overall, 86 with morale. Accuracy's still pretty good. I don't know why his overall is dropping so much. But he's, since 2031, consistently above 4,400 yards a year. Just really playing well. 34 plus touchdowns a year. And then awards 9 Pro Bowls. 2035 Offensive Player of the Year and Best QB. I mean, David Carr should be super high on the legacy leaderboard now. Especially with a Super Bowl win here. He's going to skyrocket. David Carr has a chance to pass Russell Wilson. I don't even know how much a Super Bowl is, but I mean, you'd figure he has a pretty good chance to pass at least Russell Wilson with a win. And let's see career stats. David Carr, 64,000 yards, 514 touchdowns. For NFL records, David Carr sneaks inside the top 10 for passing yards all time. And then passing touchdowns, he is number 9 all time. Carr on the run and on the money for Allison against Tyrese Allison. Off to a decent start. I just want to score and then let the CPU take over. David Carr, just kind of a beast. Obviously one of the best QBs ever. Goes without saying at this point. It's not an amazing route. It's a wobbly ball, but it's caught by Weber. Cornerback fell down. That was just too easy. Does this count as a throw? I think it actually does. Oh, it might count as a run because it was behind the line. There's a flag anyway, so who cares? He was actually roughing the passer. That's interesting. Oh, unblocked. Sick pickup by the running back there. Great job. Safety's blitzing. Give me a touchdown. I didn't mean to freaking pump fake. Oh my God. That's a touchdown. Now I have to deal with 3rd and goal. There's a defensive lineman in the zone. Come on, man. We'll streak him, I guess. Maybe the slant will get open underneath. Oh, I think we had it. We had the slant. Carr on the run. Kind of hit him. What a throw. And it's a Manny Weber touchdown. Oh, David Carr absolutely on the money. Drops a dime. Buffalo was in the lead for a minute, though. It's 14-10 Carolina. They're driving back down the field 17-14, but now 21-17 Carolina just into the second half. Buffalo up 24-21. This is a close game, but Carolina retakes the lead 28-24. Buffalo going back on top with just over 2.5 minutes to play. They are up by a field goal. We're not playing for field goals here. We're playing for touchdowns. You play to win the game. Drop it up underneath. Manny Weber. Easy toss and catch there. He's in the zone. What's his zone ability? I don't even know. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's arcade mode for you. I pressed the wrong button, and Superstar X Factor stud Manny Weber goes up and gets it. We scored way too quickly. I didn't mean to throw that. I straight up did not mean to. Buffalo's going to score. Oh, they got stopped. The Panthers won the Super Bowl. What a stop from the defense. Oh my goodness, what a chaotic game. But it's another Super Bowl for David Carr as he throws for 392, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, you can bet that's that's player of the game. Unless there was a defensive touchdown. No, Super Bowl MVP goes to David Carr without question. 2036 now. Is David Carr still here? He is. 1 year remaining, as is per usual. He's down to a 78 overall. He lost Superstar X Factor. Down to Superstar Dev. That's really weird. Gregory Rousseau, Miami defensive end, Chase Young, and Lamar Jackson have all made the Hall of Fame. Quarterback, David Carr did jump Russell Wilson. 3 Super Bowls, 4 NFC championships, 20 yearly awards. I mean, no one's going to catch Brady or Mahomes. It just won't happen. It's not possible. We're going to simulate 2036. Could be the final year of David Carr's career. Did not even make the playoffs. 7-9. I mean, David Carr was still excellent. 4,600 yards, 32 touchdowns. Did throw 16 picks, though. Don't love to see that. They'd have 176 rushing yards. Tyrese Allison, Manny Weber, staples of the offense. Yearly awards. Luke Armstrong was another MVP. David Carr at 9. NFC Offense Player of the Year, Braden Smith. Again, David Carr at 5. best quarterback, Emmett Schreiber, David Carr at 4. Missed the playoffs. That might be the final year of David Carr's career. Just might be. So David Carr is no longer on the Carolina Panthers as he's retired. And he's made the Hall of Fame. Good for David Carr. I mean, quite a different end to his career than what we saw in real life. Finishes 5th all-time for quarterback legacy score, if you care about any of that. But more importantly, NFL records. David Carr is number 6 all-time. No, 7. Yeah, 7 all-time in passing yards with 68, almost 69,000. Would have been nice. Passing touchdowns, he's 5th all-time with 546. Great career. Great stuff. Great stuff indeed from David Carr. Unfortunately, can't see. I mean, those numbers don't matter. We just saw what mattered. But that is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully, you guys hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. I'm so close to 250,000 at this point, so every single one helps. David Carr, Hall of Famer. Wild. But I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
It's insane, I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah, promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. Papa turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speed burst good.